morning, I woke up and I read the Waikato Times, and there's a big front page ad put in by the government for us to buy shares. And I thought to myself, what a deceitful thing to do. Because really, why would you buy shares in assets that were built by our people to benefit the next generation? Why would we be buying things we already own? And really, I don't think we're the target. I think we're just a front. Because really the whole issue is about selling assets to foreign interest, which means we're going to be paying more for power prices. Not only us, but our mokonas. And if you sell all the essential services to foreign interests and others and corporations, where does the money come from to actually circulate within the country to pay for the things we need as services? During my lifetime, 1984, I remember when the market model was introduced in New Zealand. And Labour began the asset sell-off of telecom and rail and all the things that were built by our people for this country. And a lot of our people died in tunnels, a lot of our people died on dam sites, building things that were supposed to be for us as a public service. All of that's gone. All we hear about now is the state service. And all of these guys who get huge amounts of money running a country broke and then disappearing after their 3-year term or their 6-year term. And what's left is that we have now, basically, apart from wage and salary earners, what else is going to be left if you keep hopping off the assets that we actually essentially need as people? Why should we have to pay foreign interests higher prices for things that are essential services for people here? We shouldn't. These assets are ours. The answer is no, John. Stop trying to flog off the assets and stop trying to con iwi leaders and everyone else to forget about getting treaty settlements properly sorted and trying to con them into accepting a few shares in these companies that we already own. And that's the other thing that I think is deceitful. That this government is not pointed up. They have secret deals going on in back rooms, and even our people have been implicated. And yet our people were the workers who helped to build this nation. So for me, I think it's been a great day to be here on this river. The mighty Waikato feeds all the power, it's got all the dams, it's got the wealth. Why on earth would we want to sell it to anybody, including ourselves? So, I'm here for the next generation and for the past. My uncle died building dams. He was 46 years of age. He was my favourite uncle because he always took us to get ice creams. And when they did his autopsy, they found that half his lungs were full of diesel. Because at that time, there was no workers' rights. He just drove his bulldozer, helped to build Whakamaru, Maraitai, all those dams on the river. I don't believe that he was there to kill himself, building roads, dams and all that, just so that we could sell these things to corporations. He thought he was doing it for this country that we lived in. And so, for me, this government is totally out of control. The choices that are made in this country about whether or not to sell assets are choices that should be made here with the people. They're not things that are forced on us by the global people, the global market. That's what the story, people keep saying we have to be out there, it's a global world. Yeah, you might have to be out there, but you do not have to sell the country's assets to actually, the governments make the choice as to what they do. And those choices should be informed choices by the people who live in this country that they're supposed to serve. If you're not listening to us, then who are you listening to? You're listening to money bankers in another country, trying to be friends of American corporations or somebody else. It's not your job. You weren't elected in there to look after their interests. You were elected to look after the interests of this country. And if you can't do it, get out of the road and let other people who really care about the future take over.